So cyber needs now to be addressed end-to-end in the transaction chain. And yeah, I mean, in Felaban this week, we're hearing that in every conversation, it keeps on coming up. And it keeps coming up because obviously it's not anymore the area of cyber is not anymore the one seen at the retail and e-banking level in terms of defenses, but it has now become also part of the infrastructure. And obviously, I mean, the recent publicized events where it was specified that the common starting point of the modus operandi was a breach of the local customer environment, and then attackers managed to steal operator credentials and use those credentials to input fraudulent transactions that look legitimate, and they obviously obfuscate all the evidence through malware. So that this modus operandi is now being obviously very well known by the community, and banks. The positive is that banks, financial institutions, are increasingly aware and are starting to take action. But obviously, it's going to be a long-term priority for them.
Oh, of course, and of course, we're referring about the breach that the Central Bank of Bangladesh suffered earlier this year, which was experienced through the SWIFT network. And of course, you guys are working to avoid these things in the future. But this incident made cybersecurity very much an item at the top of the agenda across the world for lenders across the world. And as you rightly said, it's not any longer an issue just for the operational guys, but it goes all the way up to the board. So what has changed since that incident, and what kind of measures are you putting in place and banks are putting in place as a reaction?
Yeah, so I think the main measure is that we come up with, together with the industry, with a customer security program that is there to reinforce security across the industry. We have essentially 11,000 customers connected to the network, and the starting point of the customer security program starts with the customers themselves. They all need to secure and protect their customer environment, and to that end, we are introducing a series of security controls that all customers will need to apply as of 2017. So that's the first area. But there are two other areas that are as crucial, which is the second one is that obviously customers, even if they are improving their security levels, they do not operate in a vacuum. They need to expect the worst, and the worst obviously in cyber is that they are compromised or one of the counterparts are compromised. And in that case, that's where fraud prevention and detection comes into play, and lots of initiatives and innovation being underway at the moment in that area. And the third one is that we, as an industry, we're going to be stronger if we do it together, if we work together against all these cyber threats, and that's where information sharing comes into play. It's about making sure that we provide a platform that is provides anonymity and confidentiality for customers to share information around suspicious activity, but also to act on this information when we share it back to them in terms of malwares or new modus operandi and indicator of compromises.
And of course, another topic that keeps on coming up during the conversations here at Felaban is the one of innovation. There was a presentation earlier today about digital banking, and a lot of the bankers I've been talking to keep on mentioning fintech and how they can improve their offering.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, and you're seeing with new fintechs and startups and new technologies coming up, new technologies such as blockchain that has the potential to transform the financial services industry. And in a sense, there is a kind of a competitive race between these new fintechs and startups that they're not encumbered with legacy systems. They can deploy new technologies very fast, and as well with the incumbent players that they have the strength of having thousands or even millions of customers, the power of distribution. And in that competitive race, you sense there is, yes, competition, but it's also collaboration increasingly more with incumbent players partnering or even acquiring some of these fintechs to be able to innovate and to provide new services to customers. And one of them, one area where we're seeing a lot of innovation is in the area of the cross-border payments. And in there, that's where one of the topics for discussions that is coming up in most meetings is the future of correspondent banking,